Hey everyone, welcome to this new video where I will show you another feature of Apache Spark 3.1, which is the support for full outer joins in structured streaming. So on my screen you can see that I have a code snippet to illustrate this new feature, and the code snippet will join obviously two different streams, two different Apache Kafka topics. So to join them I will use a business key called right and left ID, and I will also use a condition on top of watermark columns. So later I will show you what happens when I don't put this column here, but anyway, to start I would like to show you what happens how to use this full outer join correctly. So I will now start recreate the topic. So as you can see, I have already prepared some command, and whenever it's done, when it's done, I will start the producer. So for the left and for the right side. Here I have logs. So the logs to show you how the watermark is moving. And now I can start the application in run mode because there is no debugging to show, at least for this first demo. So the application will start very soon. Yes, the application started, and now I can take some data I prepared previously to illustrate the full outer join. So I will start by the left side, add some data that this time will match. So you can see that. You can also notice that I have some condition on the watermark keys saying that I'm expecting the right side to arrive at most 2 minutes after the left side. So previously I added the left side for 10:15, and now I will add the right side for 10:16, which it's inside this interval. So now I will do the opposite. So I will try an event which will match by ID, but that will not match by this interval condition. So you can see that we have 11:18, and now I will have 11:28, meaning that none of them will be printed because, as you know, this condition, none of them will be joined at this point, at least. At this point, not at least, but it will not be joined ever because of this range condition. And just let's take a look at the watermark, which is at 11:14, meaning that we take the mean of both, which if you subtract 18 and 28, which you subtract the 5 minutes from 11 to 18, you will end up with 11:13. So now I will generally already this shows that the already matched rows are not returned twice. So now I will just try to move the watermark so that I can emit the rows from the rows I generated previously, the ID number 3, that can be matched by the business key but cannot be matched by the interval condition. So now I will add this event and this one for the right side, and let's see what happens. You can see that we correctly emitted the left and the right side separately, simply because they cannot be matched due to this range condition, as I already explained. But nonetheless, they are still valid from this full outer join semantic, because as you know, in batch, for left outer join you will either return both sides if there is some matches, or left side if there is no match with the right side, or right side when there is no match with the left side. So that's exactly what happens here. And to terminate, I will add some other events just to move the watermark and just to emit the rows I just added. So the rows with ID 4 and 5 on the streams. So let me do that right now. And so I will just check there is nothing emitted yet. No, because when you check the watermark, you will see that it keeps the 1148, which is the global watermark policy, which because it uses the default global watermark policy, which is the mean, meaning that it will take the mean watermark value of both sides. So it will take the mean watermark value of both sides, which is 1148, because as you can see here, I didn't include a new event that could move the watermark on the right side. So it will happen just now, and we should see that both not matched events were correctly returned. And also you can see that the watermark changed because now it's 12.5. And globally, that's all for the ideal case of full outer join. So now I will do something that I said before. So I will comment this line. I will emit exactly the same rows to the producers. I will need just to recreate the topics before that. Okay, cool. And I will start the producers. And this time I will start my application in debug mode, just to show you something that will make this full outer join work a bit like a left outer join, because you will see the right side will not be emitted, at least for the late rows. So let me start this in debug mode, and I will also check whether I have everything activated. Yes, everything is fine. So now the query starts, and as you can see, we check what will be if the watermark is specific, if the query can be evaluated later. So it verifies whether the watermark expression is valid. So it will be the case, because yes, you can see that we are going that. You can see that later we have something. Yes, we have the state watermark, so it's valid from Apache Spark semantic for the watermarks. And now there is one important thing. I think that's the moment that will explain why in this scenario the query will behave a bit like left outer join. So if you take a look at this, you can see that we have a method which is called get state watermark predicates. So that will be the predicates used to drop late rows from the state store, and so to emit them to the downstream part of the application. And here you can see that it will work only for the left side, which is evaluated currently. So we are going to this method. Of course we have the join condition, and we also have, if you check this attributes event with watermark, you can see that we have a column which is of the watermark type. On both sides, by the way, we have the left and the right side included. So it will evaluate to true, of course, and later we will go here to this pattern matching and detect the state watermark that will be later used here, that will be later mapped to something else. So to something else which will be a predicate, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what is returned. Yes, that the join state watermark predicates. So here we can see that we have something under the expression, and we can correctly map it to something else. And now it won't happen for the right side. So the right side, it's evaluated just here with exactly the same code, and we have almost the same attributes, but of course in a different order. We have always the same condition, but unfortunately this time you will see that we have nothing here, so the expression cannot be mapped, meaning that we can only emit late rows for the left side of the join. So generally, instead of doing the full outer join, we are doing the left outer join. And so now I can disable the breakpoints because it's now clear, and I will just emit the data to show you this aspect. So I'm here, Do I have my producers ready? Yes. And I will take the data. So I will start by the matches, the matching rows. And now it's generally, it's emitted. Now I will do an operation with the late data for late but matching data. And yes, the watermark moved on, and now I will go add some data for the non-matching scenario, which yes, you can see we have nothing, and now the watermark should move on, and normally, yes, you can see that we have the left side which is returned. And if I add other events, you will see that there will not be the right side returned if there is no matches with the left side. So generally it behaves like a left outer join between the streams. So we can see that we have nothing except this left side which is returned. And globally, and that's all for this demo. So remember to define always the correct conditions on the query in order to use the full outer join. I was quite stuck with this problem when I started because I didn't understand why the right side was not returned to the downstream consumer. But it was because of this watermark predicate that was created only for one side of the join, meaning that Spark could only emit late data and not much data only for this one side. So full outer join is not a single feature, is not a single new feature in structured streaming. Another one is, for example, left semi-join, or also a new configuration property regarding the correctness issue in case of global watermark strategy. So if you want to discover them, I invite you to the article which is linked in the description of this video. It was Bartosz Konieczny from waitingforcode.com. Thanks for watching.